Hey everyone, and welcome to this month's Solve Critiques. If you want your solves critiqued, you can go to patreon.com/jperm. In the first solve, you had the cross pieces here, 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 and here. And the first thing you noticed is the way it's set up, red and orange would go in opposite of each other, but blue would go into the wrong spot. So what you did was bring them all onto the blue face. Then when you turn the blue face to insert blue, these move onto their opposite sides. And now these are solved. And lastly is green, which you did like this. Into the back, and then align the cross. Everything was fine up till green. When you insert red and orange, your hands end up in this grip, and from here it's actually really nice to just do B like this, and that way you get green aligned to its center. Then during that B, you can regrip your right hand to do D, and then L prime, and now you're in home grip, and the cross is fewer moves. There's another cross solution that would have been better. The way I think about this is that orange is actually the nicest one right now since it's not on the top, which takes a little bit longer than this one. So I'd find some way to solve these three first, specifically the green one in the beginning. So I'd actually solve red and green together. And then blue ends up set up on its center and orange is ready to go. So that can just be done like that. Now we have F2L. The first pair you saw was blue-red, so you did them like this. Move them here to pair them. And then insert into the back. For this case, it's faster to put the corner here and then set up the edge with F. Now this is a setup case, insert, and then F prime. But to make this fast, you have to make sure that you know how to do home grip F moves, which need the pinky of the hand doing the turn underneath the S slice. But now back to your solution, and during this F2L, we're going to focus a lot on how you could have improved on your look ahead. So what I'm about to do, if you need to work on your look ahead and you're around this speed, then I recommend going through slow solves yourself where you try to do exactly what I'm doing here. As you solve this pair, I usually focus on corners. They're easier to spot because they have white on them, but we also have this edge. So those are just the things you could look at. Pretend we were watching this one. So what would happen is as we pair this, it would get inserted. And then this is not something that's very easy to use since the edge is not on top. But this still can be useful information because now we know it's here. And if the edge ever comes out, we'll immediately know which one it goes with. And that is, of course, if we don't disturb this slot. The other possibility from here is to look for this, or even look for this one, but we're just going to do this. So as you make this, you can take a look at this side, and now it's pretty obvious what the case is. Then you can insert this and start to do this one without a cube rotation. If you had looked ahead to either of those two, so there's no right answer here, just make sure you look ahead to something, then you wouldn't have done what you did next, which is a cube rotation as you tried to look for pieces, and then you ended up solving this one by disturbing the slot. So those are both two things that we didn't want to do here. So what you did was this, and then insert over here like this. But if you're solving this pair this way, how you could have done look ahead is by noticing that this has white on it. So this is an important corner. There's also this edge. So either one you notice is fine. And there's only two remaining slots. So it's pretty easy to figure out where the rest is. Now, either one you're looking ahead to, by now you should realize that the other piece is not on top. So it's one of these slots. So you would take a look at either slot, maybe this one because it's where something's coming out of. And you notice that this edge is here. So then you can do these two. But even if you weren't looking at these and we're looking at this one, you can notice that the corner isn't here. So it has to be this one. And you just have to memorize that if this color matches in the adjacent slot, that means white is on the back. So then you insert this edge and you ended up going for the orange blue. So like this. And then just one little thing here, don't regrip for this case for RU2 R prime. Instead, you can start from here and do U2 with the other hand. And then OLL and PLL. In this scramble, you have red and green here, which can be solved in two moves, and then orange here and blue is solved. So you did a really good thing, which is notice that blue is solved, but you can say it's not solved and just solve these three first because that's easier. So you did orange, red, and green, and now blue is out, and then you can move it back in, and this is what I call the replacement technique in this video if you haven't learned that before yet. At your level, a very big improvement you can make is predicting first pair during the cross. I didn't talk about this in the first cross because the one you did was a lot of moves, but this cross is only 5 moves, which means you should definitely be using it for this cross. For this one in particular, it's very easy. With the cross solution you did, then this pair right here is only going to be affected by the R prime and then the F prime later. So that's where it ended up. The next easiest pair to look ahead to would probably be this one. So that would be this one moves up by an L prime, and the corner is going to move over here, so white at the back, and then later it's going to move by D prime R and end up here. This was the first pair you did, and look ahead here, very important because you ended up doing a double cube rotation right afterwards. The first one I would notice is this one. There's also this, but this is just easier to notice right now. So this is one that's pretty easy to just watch as you do the moves, and there it is. Or even easier is you can then switch to this because this is already made here, and then as you do the inserting, it's not really going to affect it too much. From here, you did a preemptive cube rotation as you looked for pieces. Never do a cube rotation just to look for pieces unless it's actually like impossible to see anything from your angle, which is definitely not true for this case. So you did a cube rotation, then another one when you found this case. So then you did this one. And a really good next pair would be this, but you went for this, which is pretty much as easy to see. So here what you did was take it out, and then cube rotation to insert into a back slot. That's not bad, but it would have been faster to put the corner at the back and do sledgehammer followed by inserts. Then again, you had this case, don't regrip for it. This OLL could be done better. I know this is the way I showed it in my old OLL video, so just make sure you improve on this. And what I showed, which is my fault, is I showed it like this and then like that. If you're good with lefty F moves, you can do it like this, which is great, but if you can't, then instead what you should do is something more like this. Go from here. The reason that's better is because if you're doing a lefty alg, using your right thumb to do any move is not a good idea, as you need your right thumb here to do all the other moves like this. So to prepare for the lefty part of the alg, you should have your right thumb here already and not do something like this. So that's why I say either use your left thumb or just do the alg a completely different way. Then for this V-perm, you use this algorithm, which is a good one, but I think the finger tricks should be different. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it should go like this. So once you hit this part, then your grip is here, and what you should do is instead of change your grip all the way to here for this, and then have to do a slight grip change later as well, from here, you could just go to here, and then never regrip for the rest of it. And then you can do this part like this, which is a bit harder, but saves on a bunch of grip stuff. So then the rest of it is just normal. For this cross, we have red and blue already set up, and then orange and green here. What you did was insert red like this, and then green and orange, set them up like this, and then align the cross to put green and orange in. Overall, not bad, but the finger tricks could have been a bit better, and that could be like this. So start with the F prime with your left index finger, and you don't actually need the special finger trick because you can just start with your right hand like this, so that holds the S slice. So F prime, and then after R, do D prime with the left hand so you can regrip during that time with your right hand. Then insert these two. Another good way to do it would be to face orange to begin with. That way you can do L, F with your ring finger, and then afterwards, the rest is regripless. Again, planning first pair would have been really good here as it's only 5 moves of the cross, and this would have been a great first pair, but you went for this one, and this is one of the worst ones, so it's generally not good to use that in the beginning with how many options you have. To solve this pair, you used this slot, which I wouldn't recommend if you had seen this edge, because this is a great placement for the edge. Just no matter how the corner is, it ends up being a good case. So the way you did it was like this, and then insert into the back. For look ahead, the first thing I would notice is this pair coming out. And from here, you could just solve it, but if you didn't realize early enough, you would keep going with what you've done. And now when you insert into the back, they are here, and there's also this, which you could use, but we're just gonna keep using this one. And then from here, you want to split them up even more like that. So you would do this and go straight into the next pair. But you ended up noticing this one, so your look ahead here actually wasn't bad, and you went straight into this one. So from here, looking at these two, here the top match, so you want to move them like this, which is what you did. That's good. And then this pair, For last pair, you generally want to not have the back slot rotation habit. It's better for last slot to be front slot. That way you can do more tricks, including like sledgehammer here to orient some edges. You ended up doing like a U3 prime to realize what happened, and then did a back sledge like this. Then here is OLL. You don't need to regrip for this one with the U2. You can just do U2 with the other hand here. And then for PLL, this is the R perm, and you had some trouble recognizing it. I think you did U2 and then did another U because you execute from this angle. Instead, it's better to recognize right from the start. So for something like this, if you notice that this block matches the outside and then there's two stickers matching on the inside, it's an R perm. If there's only one here and this one doesn't match, it's a T perm. That's how I recognize the difference. And if you did that, you would be able to just do the single AUF and go straight into it. In this solve, again, you had a pretty easy cross. So here is red and orange, and you first replaced orange with blue like this, moving it here, and you also moved green up. So you move blue in, move green up, and now green and orange are aligned opposite of where they should go. So you align the cross, put in green and orange, and then D2. This was your first pair, so you solve them like this, and then now here is a corner, here's the edge, so this is easy to look ahead to. Then you had this one, which you solved like this, and then insert like that. A better way you could solve this case is R just pairs them up, and then you can insert like this, and then R prime. Something I noticed you were doing this solve was, for this case, you did U prime, and then solve this case. So you were kind of like positioning this one over here slowly, and then solving this case fast because you know how to solve that case. The way you want to think about this is, instead of reducing this to a case you know, this is just its own case, which requires its own finger tricks, which means the U2 is actually just part of the way you should solve this. In other words, just do the U moves faster, but it's good to think about all the cases from where they start rather than where you want it to go, followed by doing the fast thing now. That way it's fast right from the beginning and you stop thinking right here and start looking ahead immediately. So next you had this one, which you did with a very similar thing. You did U prime before doing it. And again, you just want to think about it as the case from here. So the U2 is like part of the alg. From here, it's a kind of similar idea. You ended up repositioning this to here first before recognizing and doing the algorithm. Now this is something called double recognition, where you look from here, you decide what to do, and then you look from here and you decide what to do. Each case should only be recognized once, and all of this with that one yellow color should tell you what case it is, because there's only one case that looks like this. So make sure you practice this and don't look at extra angles to try and figure out what the case is, as that makes you have to recognize again, and that takes longer. In the solve, you have the blue cross piece done, and here is green, orange, and red. What you did was put red on top of green and solve these two, and then solve this one into the back, like this. Now, you don't have to do this big regrip. You can do this from home grip, and that would just look either like this, push here, or push here. This was the first pair, and you did it from here, and then insert into the back. You should just do it from here. I feel like often you do U moves unnecessarily, and that leads into situations like that. So from here, it would look like this, which is much faster. So how you would do look ahead for this, as you do this, this slot doesn't get affected, but you could look here, notice this, that is useful information. But what I would do here is, since this doesn't affect this slot and this is coming out, but I can't see it quite just yet, I would start by looking at this side. So that's pretty much the only useful thing I see. Then moving forward, so pair this up and then insert into the back. And this is the thing I see. So I would do this one as my next pair, knowing that this white ends up here. Here, because you didn't really look ahead, you did some U moves before realizing what case it is, and then solved it like this. And then insert with F moves. Then next you had this pair and this one. There was a lot of hesitation here, I think because you saw this first and then kind of got confused on what to do when you should be using this one here instead. At this point, the look ahead is actually really easy because this white gives away what the next case is. I don't think you're really used to going straight into back slots, because that's more of an experience that you build up from when you get better at look ahead, so you don't have to actually look at this. So what you did here, instead of going straight into this back slot, which it's pretty obvious what case this is, you ended up doing a cube rotation, and then you kind of messed up because you did it like this. So the mess up isn't important. I'm not going to go through the rest of what you did because it was pretty straightforward after this, but I just want to show you how you could have been rewarded for good habits if you had actually done this. Then you get a PLL skip. For you, the most important thing is to work on your look ahead and make sure that you go through slower solves, really experimenting with what you should be looking at. And any information can be useful. So if you look ahead and you see something get slotted, maybe you can use that later if you don't disturb it. So you don't always have to look for just the next pair, just make sure you look for something and don't forget what that is. There's also predicting the first pair during the cross. I went through that a bit in these solves, but generally that's something you work on your own. On the end screen here is a video I made on how I predict first pair. Besides look ahead, this is also very important for anyone getting close to sub 10, as it's very difficult to be sub 10 without it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.